have assigned seats in this class.
Yeah, we can sit anywhere we want.
Did you just pee a little bit?
No.
Then why is my leg damp?
Yo, what is up guys, Bob-D7King here, and today I'll finally be doing a video that I've been avoiding for a while, and that is my dream cast for fans versus favorites. Now the reason why I've been avoiding this video is mostly just has to do with the logistics, as my dream favorites team doesn't really look like the best possible outcome for a season. However, considering that I think the team that we got, while was great conceptually, in execution the favorites team in canon is pretty dull. So I'll be going through each generation and say if I'm keeping them or replacing them. In a few ground rules first, I will not be considering any winners since they didn't. I will not be enforcing the gender ratio since All Nations doesn't care, so why should I? And while this wasn't really a rule while making this cast, no one-time pre-merge boots made my dream cast, which I don't think is that surprising, but I figure it should be stated, so yeah, let's just get started with Generation 1. And for the duo of Alec and Fiore, I'm obviously keeping them, Fiore being one of the most recognized characters for the fans, and Alec being the post boy of strategy. Beyond that, they're both extremely entertaining together, and prove that on their own, they can stir some things up as well. However, for Gom, I'm replacing them. They do fit the theme of being popular characters who have went deep in seasons, but they're really boring, and I didn't really want to make this team full of stagnant heroes, so I needed to cast people who, while are friends with some of the more complacent players, will do something to change the status quo. I thought of Ashley, but then I realized that while I like Ashley, she's not a very fun player to watch. And then I thought of Ellie, but the thing with Ellie is that with Tom Jake being a thing and her accomplishing her dreams, I don't really want to ruin that. Plus her mentality wouldn't be laser focused, so she'd probably be like Tess in All-Stars, and I hate Tess in All-Stars, so yeah. I figured the person who should make this cast over Gabby is Gret. While she's also successful outside the show and probably doesn't need the money, I know Gret will fight for the title and will play a dynamic game to get there. She's also a massive highlight during the merge section of All-Stars, so I think she warrants a spot on here. Now replacing Tom, and it's his husband. And look, I know what I just said about Ellie being successful, but I don't care about Jake's wedding plan job. Well, okay, I do when I watch Tom Jake, but like, it's not going to stop Jake from being on my dream cast, because out of the heroes on the show, if you want to call Jake a hero, Jake will shake things up on the team without even needing a huge twist like the one that saves Aiden. Jake's personality is really love it or hate it, and while most people like Jake initially, once Jake senses something's off, everyone will pay the price. Even if Jake isn't a top 10 character for me, I do like Jake, and like Josh Martinez from Big Brother, we kind of need someone like Jake. Also, it was either him or Nick to make my cast, but I don't think anyone cares for Nick like that, so yeah. Sorry, Derek Jackman. Maybe for second chances. Although Ted kind of took your spot now that I think about it, so. Moving on to Generation 2, and man, this sucks when you can't just instantly cast James Aria because they're easily the two best characters objectively and can provide anything from gameplay or character-driven moments. I decided to keep the duo of Lake and Rosa because everyone loves Rosa and has been waiting to see her come back because she was robbed off of All-Stars. And Lake's journey in All-Stars was cut way too soon. Plus, they're both a lovable woman duo, so yeah, there's not much I can really ask from them. Another person that I decided to keep on the cast was Aiden, mostly just because there was really no one to replace him with, so yeah. However, the person that I ended up replacing on this generation is Allie, and I think this is a controversial choice considering Allie's character has been built up to accomplish something, which unfortunately still hasn't happened this season since she's gone with almost no chance of returning, but I'm talking about before she was released to be on the season. Allie in All-Stars learns to not listen to the haters and also learns that even if she has to hurt people's feelings, she will do it to advance herself further into the game and also get into a better position. Fans versus favorites should be the chance to prove it, but she's not really the most likable in All-Stars. All she did in Tom Jake Season 2 was break up with Hunter, and remake Allie, while solid, never reached the heights that a favorite should. So I decided to replace her with her ex, Hunter. And like Jake, this might seem weird since they've already seemed to have moved on from the show, but I don't know, man. I like Hunter more. His run in the remake is amazing, where he's such a highlight for a good chunk of the episodes, especially in the early half. We don't need to talk about All-Stars Hunter, but I think now that he and Allie are over, it would be interesting to see if Hunter redeems himself strategically. And also we get to see Hunter interact with Fiore and Alec again. And he better apologize to Fiore because he was very much belittling her and also just kind of bullying her. So yeah, I think Hunter is a pretty good fit on the favorites team. Now finally for Carnival of Chaos, and I've said this numerous amount of times, but I'm keeping the men on the cast. There's like no other option from Gen 3 that you could realistically put on. Ted feels out of place, plus he wouldn't do well. Zeta's good, but he's undeserving as a favorite, and why the fuck would you cast Dan? Diego. I mean Dan. Benji and Spencer are great picks all around, and you can build up from where they left off.
Hey, the British are coming! The British are coming!
Now for the women, which was so tough, I decided to keep Natalia because the theme is made for a character like Natalia. A big character and a big player that got taken out before they really got to dominate. But I removed Anastasia, and do I have to explain? Actually no, if I dislike a character on the channel, you will know every single reason as to why. Anastasia is one of the worst returnees you can have in my opinion. Does she fit the theme? Sure, but she's just going to stick with her alliance and make mean-spirited remarks to people outside her group. And while I will praise Aura for being mean-spirited, Aura is not a screen hog like Anastasia and also just doesn't annoy me like Anastasia. Anastasia is just a moral high horse bum who should have never made the cast to begin with. Okay, anyways, 4 characters in contention, starting things off with one of my comfort characters, Linda fucking Anderson. Funnily enough, she actually did make my original cast, but she stuck out like a sore thumb considering that she was a pre-merger, and the fandom seems pretty polarized on her. Even though I love Linda Anderson more than all but one of the characters who actually made the cast, she's not really the best representation for the season. She will be on second chances, and she will win though, trust me, take me on my word now, baby. Okay, that was gross. Anyways, I did consider Ivy, but same thing with the pre-merge thing. I would assume at the time though that Ivy was more loved than Linda, aside from her undermining Benchy all the time in the pre-merge. I would have loved an Ivy return, but to me she just doesn't make that much sense, also including her life outside the show, so yeah. Final person I considered was Jade, who does have a great second chance story to return, but she's kinda in the same boat as Linda, with certain parts of the fandom just not really liking Jade. Reddit, beyond the weirdos on Reddit who can't dislike a black woman normally, I mean seriously, they're making AI slop of Gabby eating meat, which I might show you guys just to prove how weird Disventure Camp Reddit is, but I've already called Reddit problematic on several occasions, and also the photo makes me sick, so I'm probably not going to post it on screen. Anyways, YouTube also just doesn't care for Jade anyways. I mean, I do, but I think we're the only DC YouTuber who doesn't actively dismiss her as this one-off game bot. I think Jade is better for a second chance season like Steven Fishback from Survivor. But the person who I replaced Anastasia with is Isabel. Now, with most of Sister Isabel's antics at the merge phase just to get out Marissa and Anastasia, yes, but Sister Isabel is funny as hell, no pun intended. Unrelated, but her and Jade are also endgame for life. Or, I guess in another life. And on this team, she'll be with Natalia, and we get more development on that duo, who I feel has more potential than Lake and Rosa, considering there are very clear differences in life that were never the main focus of Carnival of Chaos. It also would have been more interesting to see Natalia having to deal with the game of personal dilemma with Isabel instead of Gom, because Isabel has been a great ally and views her as a friend. Also, an Isabel and Fiore interaction would be crazy, like seriously, I need greetings of them. I'm shocked that there isn't any, or at least any that I could find while making this video. Isabel is a better player than Anastasia, more entertaining, and isn't prone to annoyance, so yeah, she's on the cast. And that is my dream cast of the favorites team, a team that while I personally love, don't know how good this team would actually be. I'm sure that Hunter and Benchy will get along, but we'll probably just get the same outcome with that Benchy and Ali got. Alec is probably still the first boot, and I think that there's a chance that in reality Jake might do more harm than good, despite his growth from Tom Jake. But hey, at least the women can save it possibly, so yeah. But that's the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you all enjoyed. And yeah, peace out. Stay tuned for more videos. Peace out. And I love you all.